Jay here for Full Time Devils. Joining me is...
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Steve. Joining me is Stephen Howson, and this is our premium content for the members video. As usual, we'll have the preview for the Leicester game on the normal channel. You'll be able to view that, but this is a little bit extra, a tactical preview for the Leicester game.
With Sabutio.
With Sabutio, for those of you who have joined our membership and supported the
1987
channel.
technology.
Listen, we don't need all those fancy graphics and all that. Let's go back to the old school. Sabutio players, this is how we
Did they ever
roll.
do like a Sabutio preview on like, what was it called on Granada? Was it called The Match or something?
Is that the one where they used to play like show non-league games at the end? Like not non-league
Oh,
games,
it was
games,
like one guy filmed it on a camera
but with
in the
commentary.
car park.
But it was brilliant because they used to do commentary, didn't they? Like it was like, oh, he's Brazilian-esque as he dances through, as you watch some 50-year-old like staggering.
Yeah, and the ball has probably just clogged in the mud.
I watched one of them once where the goalkeeper sat next to the
Elton Wellesby.
Yes, Elton Wellesby. Eh? If you're a certain generation of United fan, you hate Elton Wellesby.
And people who wore lemon suit jackets. When was bring back lemon suit jackets?
Lemon suit jackets, man.
And ties that are outrageously LSD inspired.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Oh no, actually, we did have something else we're going to do.
We're doing a preview.
A tactical preview of the Leicester game. So, Stephen Howson, who loves his tactics and his XG and all that shit,
Right then.
he's going to go through some tactics for
this
Leicester.
is the way we're going to beat Leicester. They're going to play 6 players, we're going to play 11, and I reckon we're all right.
Are we though?
No. So the issue that United have got to break down is, one of the issues that we've got to break down, let's get rid of half of these, is that Leicester's 3-man midfield is actually a 5-man midfield. And that's a nightmare for us. So James Maddison, everyone thinks James Maddison's number 10, right?
Yeah, I've said
He's kind of been playing off the left for Leicester this season.
No, that's just ruined everything I've just said in it.
You've then got like Hamza Chowdhury, you've got Perez off the side, who is but more attacking, obviously. You've got your Ndidi, and then you've got Tielemans.
Yeah.
It's actually, trying to get technical, it's actually Tielemans and Chowdhury. And what happens is, when they've got the ball, actually that was one of my other points, but what United have got to worry about here is essentially just being totally overrun. Because you're looking at McTominay and Paul Pogba trying to find Juan Mata, who's probably going to be 20, 25 yards away. And that's where United need to fix up in this game. Because that ball from either of those two into this final third is where this game's going to get won and lost for me. Because there's 2 ways we can do this. We can move up from defence into midfield, into Juan Mata or whoever plays in the number 10, and ask him to feed balls into the box or into the wide areas, or you can go from Pogba direct into the channels, which I think would be quite effective. But there's going to be times when we try to play through this, and then Ndidi's going to cut out probably half of those. You're going to have to get through Chowdhury, who's a little bit more on the defensive side. You've got Tielemans, who's very box-to-box. That midfield is just better and stronger than United's. So, your 2 ways to combat it. You go direct and you bypass it. You do very much like what Liverpool have done very effectively, where they have a very functional midfield that just wins the ball back, and then it's just there to watch the defence pump balls over the top of it and go down the full-backs. We're going to have Ashley Young at right back. We don't, left back probably. We don't even know who we're going to have at right back. It might end up being that Ashley Young comes to right back and Rojo goes to left back. If that's the case,
there's a mouth-watering prospect for any United fans.
Don't even fucking tune in, because I think we're going to get tons of shreds if that's the case. Because Leicester, okay, let's play it along this line. So let's say Ashley Young comes to full-back and we go with
Rojo.
Sorry, to right back, and we go with Rojo at left back. Now this midfield attacks in numbers anyway, and then you've got Jamie Vardy, who's going to operate in the channel. If they go direct to Jamie Vardy up against Lindelof, you've got problems. I'd hope Maguire has got some experience that he can pass on to the rest of the defence to try and keep the guy quiet. Now, he does score. I mentioned in the preview, if you've not seen it already, and I'm sure I'm getting torn to pieces in the comments, I don't really rate Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, I saw you saying that, and I think it's a bit harsh, if I'm being honest. If a striker's job is to score goals, and you look at the way, I know we're going back a few years, but when Leicester won the league, and he just scored a ridiculous amount of goals consistently. It wasn't fits and starts, as we've seen in the past with a lot of strikers who hit 25, 30 goals. It was 1, 2 every game. Then I think you've got to give him credit for that. And even now on the Leicester side that's been relatively mid-table, he's always hitting double figures, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And as we've already mentioned, James Maddison's created the second highest amount of chances in the top 5 leagues. If you put any of United's forwards into that Leicester team, they would outscore Jamie Vardy for me.
Really?
Yeah, I like his movement, I like his instincts, but I think there's a level of quality that he doesn't possess that Arguably, Marcus doesn't possess, but Tony Marshall definitely does.
Do you think with Vardy, is it a case of he's on the way down and Martial's on the way up, or do you think Martial is just a better player?
Just a higher ceiling.
All right,
overall,
fair.
Better at dribbling. There's a few things that Vardy's got over him, but I think overall Marshall's your better player. The issue United are going to have, if it is, Jesus Christ, if it is Young and Rojo, they're going to get pegged back. It's probably going to be Maddison that plays left inside forward, really, because he's not really a winger. It's probably going to be Perez that plays up on this side. And then Hamza probably sits that little bit deeper, but Tielemans will find his way in. And you're looking at them attacking with 4 or 5 from the midfield and attack. And then you're going to see Chilwell and Pereira overlapping as well. And they're going to get numbers forward. This is going to be similar on both sides, because the things that we can exploit about them is what they can exploit about us. Young shouldn't cross the halfway line if he plays, whether that's left or right back.
Okay.
Rojo will only cross the halfway line to shoot.
Yeah. Standard. Nailed on.
But if it's those two, we've got problems. Now, I'm hoping it's Wan-Bissaka, and I hope it's not Ashley Young, but it will be Ashley Young at left back. If that's the way it is, I would like to see Wan-Bissaka do our attacking, because I don't think Maddison's your traditional winger that's going to be on him all the time. He's probably going to drift inside, where you'd hope someone like Scott McTominay picks him up, which means Wan-Bissaka can mooch a little bit further forward. If he mooches further forward, he's going to probably be contending with Chilwell, and I think that's something that's not a bad matchup for Wan-Bissaka. I think he can probably get past him, and I reckon he can prevent him coming past. And hopefully he links up well with Dan James on that right-hand side. On the left-hand side, if it's Marcus, he's probably going to have to do a lot of work off the ball to cover for Ashley Young, which I think he'll do all day long. But what United need to do, for me, I've kind of done all 3 points in one, really.
No, it's all right, because I'm going to ask you a couple of questions anyway.
Is United need to go, instead of the midfield 2 of Pogba and McTominay, there's times when it works and there's times when it absolutely isn't going to work. Matt has got to come off, and I think it's got to probably be Matic or possibly Fred. It's just got to be 3 midfielders. You've got to go with a midfield 3 to have any chance. It moves Pogba further forward, which means that when he's receiving the ball, he's 10 metres further forward, which means you can ask him to hit this channel or this channel with one pass, rather than having to carry it 15 yard, do a bit too much, and then try and find a pass and slow us down a little bit.
Do you not see, with Ollie, with this team and the players that are out as well, do you not think there's any possibility he might shuffle it a bit and he might even go, I don't know, 3-5-2, something like that? Do you think that is an option, or do you think no, he's going to have his flat back 4 and he's 2 midfield and then 1 a bit further forward?
I think you can keep a lot of the same shape and a lot of the same personnel with when you go 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
You've got your 2 midfielders sitting deep, and you've got your 10 in the hole there playing just off the striker. Changing that to 1 guy that's holding and 2 more operating in this sort of zone, and both of them given the license to get forward, is less of an impact on what the forward 3 are doing and what the back 4 are doing than totally changing to a back 3. I think a back 3 really suits us to potentially, because obviously you can probably go Lindelof, Maguire, Tuanzebe.
Yeah.
Very solid. A lot to like about that. Let's go with Wan-Bissaka here at fullback on this side, and it'll eventually be Luke Shaw there. And then you can actually play, depending how you want to line it up, but you can play, let's say, McTominay in there. You could bring in Pogba. Probably even a Fred. And then it gives you 2 strikers. Now, I think our strikers are quite mobile and they're quite fluid. They'd cut about the place quite well, I think. Your fullbacks are going to be starting a lot higher up. My issue would be one of the biggest threats that we've had so far, even though his output's been fantastic for club and country when you look at it on paper alone. But I think his passing's been in the 60% sort of region, Dan James.
Yeah.
And
I'll save you.
I want to know where he fits into this team. He fits in it with a free forwards. He doesn't really fit into it when it's 2 forwards.
No, that's a fair point.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rashford and Martial that would get the nod there. And he also gives Greenwood an option to come in. I think a 3 would definitely cover up for a lot of our frailties, because what you would see happening, let's say this is McTominay there in the 6, Pogba's going to push on, Pogba likes to come over to the left wing to operate, Fred's going to be up and down if it is Fred, you're going to see someone pull off into the hole there. It allows Maguire to step up and just do what he wants, and then someone's got to deal with him, because Lindelof and Tuanzebe would be ample enough to deal with the vast majority of threats, and no matter where we lose the ball, Wan-Bissaka's getting back. So you could probably cover a lot of our frailties and also give us a good, stable platform to actually play football from by having a back three. But I just don't think we're going to do it.
Just on that Tuanzebe comment, you're obviously a big fan, as quite a few of us are. Do you think there's any chance of him starting over Lindelof if it's full?
No, I don't think so. I thought Paul made a good point in the preview where he said, you've got to learn how to play with each other. I thought Lindelof was very good last year. Yeah. Now, the reason he might have been very good is he might have learned to know what Chris Smalling was deficient in. Yeah. And that's why he looked good, because he was preempting what was about to happen. Yeah. Centre-halves need time to gel and to become partners. I don't think Maguire's been perfect. I thought he looked excellent against Chelsea, but since then he's been a little bit off. Didn't watch England, but I heard he was a bit off.
Me and you were chatting with me off camera, and I said, am I being harsh? I mean, guys can get involved in the comments. I didn't think he was that great against Kosovo. He made, for me, a bit of a mistake for the penalty, because I know it was a soft penalty, but he sort of stood on the ball when he went to clear it, as he sort of stretched for it, and he just doesn't seem quite as accurate and as confident when he comes out with his passing and he carries the ball out. So I might be being a bit harsh and being a bit...
That can also be a lack of options. I think England's midfield options is their weakness, and I think United's midfield options...
And I think Declan Rice, who everyone absolutely fillets, I thought was pretty average. I know he got a lot of credit, but I thought he was a bit wasteful in possession, and his positioning wasn't great, but I'm probably in the minority in that. So yeah, I think you're right though. That's a good point, because I know we all love Tuanzebe, and everyone at United fans, we want to see a change. Get rid of him, get him in, and Tuanzebe's a popular player. I just wondered whether you thought because Tuanzebe's obviously quick as well with Vardy, whether you were worried at all and thought maybe this is the game, but I get where you're coming from with that. Another one I wanted to ask you about is Paul Pogba. For me, Paul Pogba, it seems to be almost a game of 2 hours with him. He sort of seems to play deep in the first half and struggle a little bit, or not be as effective as you'd imagine because he's playing deep. Pushes further up the pitch in the second half and he's amazing. Where do you like to see him operate? Where do you think he should operate against Leicester?
A midfield three.
Yeah.
A midfield three against anyone, to be honest, because when you play a midfield three, it gives Pogba that licence to just go a bit further forward. Yeah. His positioning and natural instincts defensively, they're not Roy Keane. You know what I mean? He's not Michael Carrick, who's just constantly like, where's the threat? He can drift through a game sometimes, but you get the guy on the ball, and there's few better number 8s in the world than Paul Pogba.
I agree.
For me, if you play a very functional midfield aside him that will do a lot of the running for him, and people are like, oh, he's £90 million, can't even run. Well, do you know what? You have to find legs for Cantona. You have to, if when you've got a special talent in a team, you accommodate it. Yeah. Gary Neville looked bad playing in front of Cristiano Ronaldo because David Beckham used to cover for him a lot, and playing against up with a selfish Ronaldo, who he was selfish and he didn't track back, exposed him. Yeah. And his decline came quicker because he didn't have a hard-working player in it. But the team was better overall for letting him fuck about sometimes because he was a very special
that's one way to describe it, yeah. But I get where you're coming from.
So I think if you've got a Paul Pogba, look at the great midfields that he's played in. When he plays for France, they'll have a Kante, and sometimes they'll have who am I thinking of?
Matuidi.
Yeah, Matuidi. So it's quite functional. Someone's going to do all the legwork in Kante.
The whole thing about the Juve midfield who was it with Pirlo Marchisio?
Pirlo Marchisio or Pirlo Vidal. You have Vidal that would just run around like a Kante kind of player. Pirlo and Matuidi aren't really comparable, but you would have someone that can control the tempo. Pogba's not a tempo controlling player. I think an Eriksen might be a tempo controlling player, but Pogba's not that guy. Pogba is a match-winning player. So you get him into areas past the final third. You allow him to drop into the box. Those first 10 games of Ole, there were so many times that I would see a goal played back, and Pogba would either be the assist or be the shot or be the ball prior to the assist, because he was getting in that exact area right there, just to the left of the D.
That just reminds me of Chelsea away. Marcus to Pogba.
There were so many times.
Yeah, I mean, you could have picked any of them first 10 games, to be fair.
We'd come down the left and he'd be there, the first option. Yeah. Which means the defender's got to look at him and the guy in the middle gets a bit more space. It all plays into itself. It
saddens me a little bit that we've sort of reverted and we seem so deep, but I get why we do. But I just think sometimes it's a waste. Just finally, Steve, you've looked at it from both sides, from United and from Leicester. Do you fancy us for this one?
It's going to depend on the starting lineup. If Wan-Bissaka's fit, and we go over midfield three, I'd be very confident. If it's 4-2-3-1 and it's Rojo and Young at fullback, it could get bad. Yeah, it could get bad. I'm wondering if and when the time to throw in somebody like a Greenwood or even an Angel Gomez I don't think he does it in the Premier League for their first starts, proper starts. I mean, obviously played against Cardiff, didn't he, Greenwood, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
It was an end of the season thing. That wasn't. Yeah, basically. I think what you're looking at here is you're looking at finding a way to play them, and I think the EFL Cup, is it Rochdale we've got in the EFL Cup, Astana in the Europa League. If one of them doesn't start or two of them don't start, there should be multiple starts in there for different youngsters. That's when they've got the opportunity to go and steal someone's place, because bar Pogba and probably Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, is anyone's position really that safe in this team? Even De Gea.
Even Dan James, you don't know whether he's always going to start or whether he's going to be. I know he's been amazing in terms of getting goals for us.
Do you know what? I think it deserves saying, actually. Dan James handling his move to Manchester United and the passing away of his father all at the same time has done fucking phenomenally well. If he's just thrown himself into his football to cope, fair play.
No, you're right. He's a young lad, moved to a big club. He lost his dad just before that happened, which we can only imagine what that's like for him. And he's risen to the occasion.
Big time.
And I think
credit where it's due for that.
Yeah, we'd expected. I think me and you were chatting about it a few weeks ago, saying it's going to take him time to settle, or you expect him to take him time to settle. Well, so far he hasn't. He's just like
scoring bankers.
It's like he was born with a United top on. And he's just absolutely loving it. I just feel a bit sorry for him that two of his goals haven't really, haven't been the sort of had the effects that you'd want them to in terms of the result, because Palace, you thought, that could have been a winner, and the same against Southampton, but he certainly played well. Steve, thanks for going through all that with us. This has been the tactical preview as part of our membership package. If you want to check out the normal preview, shall we say, the Skype preview, that'll be over on the normal channels. But thanks for watching.